What we notice with mothers with Munchausen by proxy, and I say mothers because 95% are, is that they'll bring the child to the doctor, they'll say something's terribly wrong, you've got to figure out what it is, and the doctor does a bunch of tests and then says, we can't find anything wrong. Instead of being like a normal parent, oh, Hugh, I'm so glad to hear that. Thank you for reassuring me. These mothers will be upset. What do you mean nothing's wrong? Oh no, you've got to keep working. And they will find expert after expert for second opinion and fifth opinion. These people are not insane. They are exceedingly calculated. They plan, they hide the behavior, they go to great lengths to maintain that they're right.
I remember there was a medication that I was allergic to, and my mother would give me too much of that medication and then take pictures, show them to the doctor, and say, this is when she ate sugar. So I was having a legitimate reaction, but it was not to what she was saying it was. I didn't think I was allergic to sugar. I would have a candy bar here and there, and I would have no reaction to it. But at the time, I really didn't understand what was going on.
When perpetrators of Munchausen syndrome by proxy finally get the diagnosis they've been searching for, they almost have and you can almost see the gratification.
My mother knew no knowledge of Nick whatsoever, and the relationship was filled with me having to sneak around.
With Nick, Gypsy's having kind of a dual life here. She's maintaining a relationship with Nick, but also still gratifying her mother. But there's going to be a ultimate conflict as to what's more important to her.
With my mother, I could lie and think nothing of it. But this was a really big secret.
The conflict of just being inherently strangled and controlled by this mother meant at some point this was going to blow up and boil over somehow. So when Gypsy loses her virginity, there's a rebelliousness at that point of saying, you know what, screw it. I'm going to have sex, I'm going to lose my virginity, and you're going to be feet away in a movie theater.
There was absolutely a fear on Dee Dee's part that she was starting to lose control of Gypsy, and also really fear that she would lose the sickness in her child, which was her lifeline. It was her reason to live. And so she had to teach Gypsy a lesson.
Once she got me inside the house, she chained me to the bed. She smashed my computer and my cell phone, and I was chained for 2 weeks.
What did she use to bind you to the bed?
Handcuffs and a dog leash. The dog leash was connected to her. So anytime that I would move, she would feel me move. And if she was asleep, I would move, she would wake up. I was at her mercy for everything. So to go to the bathroom, for food. As punishment, she would not feed me every day. And she would eat whatever she wanted. So it was these things that she would do that was almost haunting.
When I think of being chained up like an animal, that would be a mark of a mother who had no conscience, did not care about what her daughter thought or felt.
For 2 weeks, I tried to gain more of her trust. A lot of begging on my part. I promise I won't do it again. I'll be good. I will never talk to Dan again. to the point where she believed me enough to start allowing me little freedoms, like going to the bathroom on my own, taking a bath on my own. So leaving her sight for small amounts of time until she took me off the chain completely. After this attempt, she was very sensitive to when I would move in the bed. And she kept a knife by her bedside table, and she threatened me that if I was to attempt to run away, I would be punished for it.
Dee Dee was very controlling, but yet dependent. And so there's going to be pretty harsh punishment and abuse if, she defies her mother.
After the 2 weeks that I was chained, my mother put a voodoo hex on me. She printed out a picture of Dan, and she printed out a picture of me, and she went to the store and got a mason jar and a cow tongue. She put the cow tongue in the mason jar with the 2 pictures and a little bit of my menstrual blood. Put it in a mason jar, buried it in the backyard, and said that you will never find love. You will never be happy. So I think that it's true. I'm sorry. I just think it's true because it's like every time I get close to someone, they leave me. Many men write to me in prison. That's how I met Ken. We got engaged in 2019, but it didn't work out. I was still such a young girl. I had so much to learn about relationships. And he left me. And it broke my heart. And so it's like I always bring it back to that curse where I'm like, I believe it's true. She never wanted me to find love or be happy. I do have mixed emotions about not growing up with a father around. There's so many things that I wish that I could have experienced with him or experienced in general. But I look at my sister and I look at all the things that my sister got to do that I never got to. And for a long time, I have been very jealous of my sister. And it's stupid, but the simple fact that she grew up with our father, she got to have him at prom, she got to have him teach her how to ride a bike, all the things that I never got to. And it hurts. I think about what could have been. I look at her, my sister, and I think maybe I would have just been just like her if I would have lived with my dad. You know, maybe I would have been cheerleading captain or something, I want that opportunity for my father to guide me like a real parent should. But I do feel like my father doesn't want to tell me what to do because I have been told what to do my whole life. And I know that he wants me to make my own choices.